My name is UkkiKai, and I have this great idea to write to myself. Not who am I right now, but the one that I was like 10 years ago. And this is my letter number 4. Dear Kai, today I want to write you about one thing, maybe the most important thing. When I retired, I had completely neglected my own health, as if retirement meant freedom to ignore everything that felt uncomfortable or demanding. Eating became irregular. Pizza, burgers, whatever was easy. And alcohol. Alcohol slowly became part of my daily rhythm. And that was the worst part. A bottle of wine during the day, a few whiskeys or rum in the evening, a beer after the sauna. Very quickly, my days contained more alcohol than what is recommended for an entire month. And somehow it all felt normal. I was retired. I didn't have to care anymore. Physically, I was in bad shape. My back failed me almost every week and kept me on the couch. My shoulder hurt so badly I could barely lift my arm. My knees started aching, probably because of the weight I had gained. Every moment felt uncomfortable. At some point, I stopped believing that exercise was even possible for me anymore. And at my age, I was well over 60. I honestly thought that building strength or muscle at that age was simply not an option. And that thinking brought a fear, and also shame. I was afraid that any attempt to exercise would only make things worse. And the gym felt impossible. I imagined myself lifting tiny weights while everyone else around me lifted more, even teenagers. The shame alone was enough to keep me away. Things began to change slowly, very slowly. Those morning walks I told you about earlier helped. Walking forward does something not only to your body, but to your mind as well. It creates movement where there was stagnation. But the real change happened during a trip. We visit our older daughter in Denmark a few times a year. We usually travel there with our motorhome. I drive and my wife sits next to me scrolling her iPhone. At some point, she ended up on our municipality's website. And there it was. Free access to municipal gyms for retirees. And on top of that, a personal trainer for 1 year, all free. That caught our attention immediately. She booked an appointment right away. After we returned home, we met the personal trainer. I'll admit, I was skeptical. I listed all my injuries and pains and explained why I thought I could not do much. She listened, and then she calmly dismissed my fears. At the first gym session, something surprising happened. She easily found about 10 exercises I could do. A full 1-hour program covering different muscle groups. The challenge wasn't whether I could do it. The challenge was starting with lighter weights than I wanted to, and much lighter than what I could do. I followed the instructions. At first, there was this excitement of something new. That usually fades quickly, as you know. But this time, it didn't. The movements worked. I didn't get injured. I didn't get worse. I got better. A lot better. Week by week, the weights increased. I even had to slow myself down to avoid training too often. Now I train every other day or 2-4 times a week. That rhythm feels right. It's been about 10 months now since we started, and the motivation hasn't disappeared. Quite an opposite. One day, sitting in the sauna, I suddenly noticed something. I had pipes. Real muscles. I was genuinely surprised. And yes, I admit that realization fuels motivation, probably for every man. But the real changes went far beyond muscles. Alcohol almost disappeared from my life. Not because of the decision. It just didn't feel right or worth it anymore. Eating became more regular. Pizza has its place, but only occasionally. When your body feels good after training, you don't want to sabotage that feeling. A positive cycle begins. And then there was the biggest surprise of all. My back pain disappeared. Almost immediately. And I'm not exaggerating that at all. Strengthening my back muscles solved something that had bothered me for years. Walking in the forest feels different now. I don't think about every step anymore. I just walk, like I used to when I was young. Energy levels increased. Daily life became easier, and creativity followed. Ideas started flowing again. New project appeared. In less than a year, my life changed dramatically. I'm not chasing lost youth. That's not the point. This is my then someday life, finally. And I live it full. Doing things carefully, with presence, without hurry. Age, I've learned, is not an obstacle. It's an opportunity. I recently ordered new training pants online, and they say, never give up. That thought now comes naturally for me. I'm writing this to you because I wish someone had told me these things earlier. Why are we trained so carefully for our working life, but not at all for our retirement? That's something worth pausing to think about. Sincerely, from the shores of Lake Saimaa, UkkiKai.